Hello and welcome. This is a facilitated conversation for the Managers Academy. My name is Alejandra Lozano. I am the program manager for training and events here at Region 9 Head Start Association, and I'm helping facilitate a conversation with Yolanda Gonzalez, Head Start Director of Community Action Partnership of Kern, and the trainer of the Managers Academy, Dr. Desiree Del Zio. The Managers Academy is a 6 months training, mostly virtual with some on-site components in person. This training is being offered by Region 9 Head Start Association, and registration is now open. If you want to learn more about this training, you can always reach out to our email or go to our website to learn more about the training. And without further ado, I'll pass it along to Yolanda Gonzalez. Thank you.
Thank you, Alejandra, and thank you all for joining us today. And my name is Yolanda Gonzalez. I am the director of our Head Start State program here in Kern County with Community Action Partnership of Kern. I started my career about 30 years ago. I was a parent and had my children go through the program. I fell in love with the program. And what I loved the most was that I was given an opportunity and a middle management role to increase my skills or perfect my skills in leadership. And so I'm really excited to be here and excited for the upcoming opportunities that you will have to also get an opportunity to grow in your leadership.
Great. Wonderful. It's always so great to hear your story, Yolanda, and your commitment to this work that we do. I am Desiree Del Zio. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for DE&C Consulting. I have been involved with children and families and education for 33 years. Like Miss Yolanda, I've spent my life in service to the community. And the last 15 years has been really dedicated to grant-funded programming through the state of California. And then I did a lot of federal oversight, working with the DLH, Danya monitoring contract. I have a doctoral degree in organizational change and leadership, and I have a master's degree in leadership. So I am so excited to be working with the team at Region 9 and with Yolanda to put this project together and to help build the capacity of middle managers and bring up those voices and embrace those unique characteristics of that particular group. So Yolanda, I'd like to hear, maybe have you share a little bit about this brainchild of where this came from and where we started when we were building this.
Absolutely. One of the things that we're very fortunate, and I think that our programs offer so many opportunities for growth, right, for professional development. I often think that sometimes as managers and leadership is that we tend to not focus on middle management. And with COVID, one thing I say to the team is that we have learned so much things with it. We learned that we could do things differently. We learned that change is okay, even though we have to go through those transitions. And sometimes, some folks are it's harder for them to go through this transition phase. But when you embrace it, it really helps move you forward. And I think that's one of the things that I realized as a director is that I had a lot of middle management that were really stepping up to the plate. And I saw those skills and I observed them working. And I thought, we're very fortunate. We have other programs that can offer that mentoring coaching for directors. And I think it's wonderful. But it's so important for us to also give the tools and the skills to our middle management so that we give them that opportunity to move upward. And especially today with our workforce, I think that is vital that we provide these skills and the knowledge that they need in their toolkit so that they can have that opportunity to move up and be a director one day. We're all going to retire. I'm going to hit the lottery and I'm going to retire and go to the Bahamas. And so I need someone from middle management to move up and take my place. And so And also, I think that, they are so knowledgeable because they're so holistic in the work that they do and in the knowledge that they have, that it makes sense. It makes sense to mentor them and to provide this kind of training. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I think, the management team for Head Start programs are often that linchpin between service and, upper management and executive leadership. And they really hold that space of what are the challenges that we're dealing with in the community and in providing those services. And how do we hold that and nurture that and build that, the capacity of the frontline staff, while meeting the mission and vision of our executive leadership of the Head Start grants. There's so many pieces that they hold, and so their knowledge base is so broad. And I was so excited when we started building this, the syllabus and the coursework and the course material, and really keeping that in mind. And I want to, share a little bit about how we really designed this to build the capacity of middle managers in so many ways. And, you bring up COVID, you bring up, the pandemic. We're living in the post-pandemic world, and the current challenges that we're addressing, I think, are the massive amount of change. And we're living in and working in a space, if you've been around for a little while, pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, then you know that we're not operating in the same landscape.
That's right.
So we wanted to build something that brought both the tried and true leadership techniques from leadership science and married that with the world of Head Start.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the things that I can remember as in my early years of even just starting with Head Start is that we've always been challenged with having that onboarding process for staff so that they could really understand the whys. Why do we do the work that we do, and why does it matter? And I think that, again, this is why it's so important for me, so that people, in middle management, and they're gonna impart their knowledge to those that they supervise, right? And so they'll have that experience, because we've all know, if you work for Head Start, is that we tend to just throw everyone in. Oh wow, you're awesome. We're just going to promote you to a teacher, and you'll learn the work, and we've done that to directors, and we've done that to managers. And so this is why when that idea came up, I thought, let's focus on those that, the directors have a good vision, they have the support, but the managers are the ones that we really need to focus, because they're the ones that are going to continue to grow. They're the ones that are going to continue. They're the next generation.
Yeah.
And we want them to continue to share the wonderful news of Head Start and the dynamic program that we are, and how we make a difference in the lives of children and families in the community. But more than that, it helps them to feel secure, and it helps them to do a good work. And I know that that's what they want. And so obviously when they have that knowledge, it makes their job a little bit easier to be able to and I also like that through this process and through the 6 months program, they'll be able to share their experiences and their stories, and we'll be able to relate to some of those stories, and we'll be able to share and to learn from one another. And I think that that's so important when you have a group that you can learn about each other. You can know and feel that I'm not the only one with that story, but that how do we all work through it, and how do we deal with those things that we'll face. And so that's for me, that's the best experience, is hearing from each other, and hearing the stories, and hearing how one has managed through a crisis, because we know that happens, and we've dealt with the unknown. So I, for one, learned from others. And someone once said to me, was my supervisor, that constructive criticism is a gift. and also that knowledge is a gift. And when we're able to learn from one another, that is a gift. And for that, I am thankful that, again, I know that this is going to be a great program, and it's going to allow folks to talk about their real stories.
Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying. You're bringing up some really important components of what we've built into this. And, not only are we thinking about how does this group build the capacity to understand trust, to self-reflect,
Right.
to recognize dysfunction and address it, and to kind of do that in a reflective and productive way. But we also built into this peer-to-peer relationship development. And so throughout the 6 months, of course, we're meeting sometimes as a group, and sometimes folks are meeting in peer groups. And part of our vision for that was, I mean, thinking about the last years that I've known you, for many years I've known you, and the other directors that I have relationships with, and they've been around a long time, and they have this strong relationship and this partnership where they can lean on each other and call one another, and they solve problems as a collective group. And we really want to build that network as part of this. So the relationship development component that's sort of built into this, that you'll be working with a peer group, that you'll be meeting with this group in book clubs and in discussions and talking about the course material and preparing to test that in your own program and see what works and evaluate it and measure it, and the types of things that you have to do when you want to drive programs forward into new, frontiers, which is really where we are. So building that, capacity of middle managers to someday be directors really requires those relationships. We can't always play in our own sandbox,
Right.
we got to get out, and that's the birthplace of innovation is those, unique ways that different groups, different communities, different regions are doing the work and approaching the work. So I love that you bring that up, because it was such a huge part of the vision for creating this was about those relationships.
And the other thing is that when you start early and knowing that you have a helpline, that you can build on those relationships, that you can make that call and say, and I know I was fortunate to have some directors that I could call and my first 6 months, and I thought, oh my God, what am I doing? I don't know. And so, but being able to pick up the phone and call someone and say, hi, this is, what are you thinking about this? That is so important. And it gives us an opportunity also to fill each other's cups. And I think that that's the other thing with our wellness, is that, we giving them that opportunity to it's okay. We're all we're not perfect. And we're all going to face those situations where we truly are thinking, wow, should I really be doing this? I mean, if somebody would have told me that I would have been a director 35 years ago, I would have said, oh gosh, no, there's no way. I don't even have the skills. But it's being able to, again, be willing to learn, be willing to utilize that support, because we can offer all the support, right? But if one's not willing to embrace that support, then you're going to be alone. And so with this and through this, I believe that we're going to be able to build a very holistic approach to what we learn, how we learn, and learning together from each other's experiences, so that we can pick up the phone and have that mentor or that, helpline to say, hey, I just need to run this by you. What are your thoughts? I mean, Desiree, thank you. I know I've called you and said, Desiree, can you help me here? And it's so important. And
likewise.
Yes. And I think that's a missing link in our, within middle management. They often have to be ready to go to their director, and yet they want to be proactive. But sometimes, giving them that outlet would be amazing, to be able to say, this is what I'm thinking, and this is why, and I've done some research, or I've spoken to others, and building that capacity a team or someone that you can call on. Networking is so important, and I think that that's really going to help them feel more secure in their position and more successful.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. I think one of the things that we're always talking about in Head Start is how we have to integrate services.
Yes.
We have to coordinate, and we have to break down those silos. And it's not just the silos that exist within our organizations, but it's sometimes the siloed way of doing business that we just know our own program and that's all we know.
Right.
And you know, it was really so rewarding to work for the monitoring contract and to go all over the country and to see hundreds, literally hundreds of different ways of doing this work, all of them wonderful, all of them responsive. Then I would realize that programs don't know any of that, right? They only know what they do, right? And to have that perspective that, you know, there's other ways of doing this.
Right.
And maybe we can test that and maybe we can try that. And this gives, I think, folks that really intensive 6 months of practicing that to
Right.
mastery and eventually perfection, the workplace of leaders
Absolutely.
and innovators.
Absolutely.
So,
And you know,
yeah.
we don't always have to reinvent the wheel, right? And so I think that
Amen.
Yes, I think, you know, being able to get some of those ideas and again, help each other, it just makes us a greater national program. And being a part of it is really, you know, every morning I wake up and I think about what an opportunity we have, what an opportunity that we have to make a difference in the lives of families and children's. But I'm so excited about this. I mean, I am just wanting to hear all about the other programs and to learn what, you know, what they're doing, what's working, and you know, bring back those ideas to our own programs. But I am so excited about getting my managers to sign up, and I'm going to have them sign up, and I want them to, you know, I want to support them. I want to support their growth, and I want to support, you know, their leadership. And, you know, Desiree, one of the things that I was going over my, just rewriting my bio, and one of the things that I say always, and this is the quote that I always say, I always tell my staff that I can't promise you anything, but one thing I can promise you is change. And it is a quote that I've just used from the moment I became a director, because I said to them, there's always going to be change. But when you believe in change, then change is a part of life, right? And it's important to embrace. It allows you to improve yourself and program systems in order to move progress forward. And I believe that we could do that with our managers, because they are the workers. We are the overseers. We have the oversight as directors, but our managers are the ones that are moving the program forward. And I think that if given them the skills and the knowledge that they need, is just going to strengthen them as a leader, and will also support directors in strengthening their program.
Bravo, beautifully said. Thank you for that. I am so honored and humbled to be a part of this project and to be facilitating it and to have co-created it with you, Yolanda.
Thank you.
I look forward to working through all of this with you and learning from your team and from all the folks who join up and choose to participate in this. So thank you for your time today.
Absolutely.
And for sharing your vision.
Yes. And we just want to encourage everybody, please sign up and be a part of this. We are looking forward to it, and we will have a great celebration. And I know this is our first, and we'll continue to grow it, and know that we're here to support.
Great. Thank you both for all your insightful
welcome.
conversation about the Managers Academy. I also want to remind everyone that the Managers Academy registration is open. So just go to our website, and if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, and I'll put my email in the description of this video.